Yo, what up everybody, it's Verbal D, and this is my afterthoughts of Genesis chapter number 8. And God remembered Noah, and every living thing, and all the cattle that was with him in the ark, and God made a wind to pass over the earth, and the waters assuaged. What is assuaged? Let's check it out. Assuaged. Make an unpleasant feeling, in parentheses, less intense, or make something less intense, right? So the waters were before very intense, and now they're decreasing. The fountains also of the deep and the windows of heaven were stopped, and the rain from heaven was restrained. And the waters returned from off the earth continually, and after the end of the 150 days, the waters were abated. And abated also means to become less intense, and if it's 150 days, that means it's 5 months. And God is removing all the water. There was so much water that covered even the mountains, right? Verse number 4, and the ark rested in the 7th month on the 17th day of the month upon the mountains of Ararat. So on July 17th, the ark rested, right? And if you can look on a map and find out where Ararat is or once was, then maybe you can find some historical evidence that suggests that this is where the ark is, but it's not on one particular mountain. It's amongst the mountains of a particular area known as Ararat, right? So, verse number 5, and the waters decreased continually until the 10th month. In the 10th month, on the first day of the month, were the tops of the mountains seen. So on October 1st, this is when you can see the peaks of the mountains. And it came to pass at the end of the 40 days that Noah opened the window of the ark which he had made, and he sent forth a raven, which went forth to and fro, until the waters were dried up from off the earth. Also he sent forth a dove from him to see if the waters were abated from off the face of the ground. But the dove found no rest for the sole of her foot, and she returned unto him into the ark, for the waters were on the face of the whole earth. Then he put forth his hand, and took her, and pulled her in unto him into the ark. So it's showing that Noah has control and dominion over these animals so that they can do his will to figure out if there's water on the earth still or not. And that doesn't mean that there's not going to be any oceans or rivers or lakes or seas. It's just talking about the land that was covered by the gigantic flood. Verse 10, and he stayed yet other 7 days, so another week, and again he sent forth the dove out of the ark. And the dove came in to him in the evening, and lo, in her mouth was an olive leaf plucked off. So Noah knew that the waters were abated from off the earth. And he stayed yet other 7 days, another week, and sent forth the dove, which returned not again unto him any more. Right? So the dove didn't come back because it went somewhere. It had a place or found a home for itself, right? And it came to pass in the 601st year, in the first month, the first day of the month, January 1st, my birthday, New Year's, the waters were dried up from off the earth, and Noah removed the covering of the ark and looked, and behold, the face of the ground was dry. Now, is this where we get New Year's Day from? Because obviously, after the flood, everything is cleansed. Everything was killed off besides what was preserved in the ark. And on the first day of the first month, all the water is gone, as it says in verse 13. And so it's a new beginning, a new year. So that's where we get it on biblical terms, right? And in the second month, on the 7th and 20th day of the month, so February 27th, was the earth dried completely, right? Verse 15, and God spake unto Noah, saying, Go forth of the ark, thou and thy wife, and thy sons' wives with thee. Bring forth with thee every living thing that is with thee, of all flesh, both of fowl, and of cattle, and of every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth, and they may breed abundantly in the earth, and be fruitful, and multiply upon the earth. And Noah went forth, and his sons, and his wife, and his sons' wives with him. Every beast, every creeping thing, and every fowl, and whatsoever creepeth upon the earth after their kinds, went forth out of the ark. Verse 20, and Noah builded an altar unto the Lord, and took of every clean beast, and of every clean fowl, fowls or birds, right? and offered burnt offerings on the altar. So this is when we don't have Jesus Christ to pay for our sins and to give God an offering, which would have been Jesus Christ when it comes in the future. He is the offering for our sins, for our sake, right? So now, back in the day, they had to do offerings of clean beasts and of clean fowls. And it shows that Noah is very dedicated in walking with God and showing that he remembers him as well, because it says that God remembered him and all the creatures. What do you want? It's my son, Marcello. Here. You can have this. So, verse 21, and the Lord smelled a sweet savor, and the Lord said in his heart, I will not again curse the ground any more for man's sake, for the imagination of man's heart is evil from his youth. Neither will I again smite any more everything living, as I have done. Verse 22, while the earth remaineth, seed time and harvest, and cold and heat, and summer and winter, and day and night shall not cease. My son's playing with the toy. I have to turn it off. Or turn it down. So at the end of this chapter, there's basically Noah giving dedication and offering to God, thanking him, right? Showing his gratitude, and the Lord is letting him know and letting everybody know that he will not cleanse the earth again with a giant flood. He's making this covenant now, and he will also continue with the seasons and the times until there is a judgment day and Jesus Christ has already been sacrificed and we are waiting on his second return, right? Second coming. So, I hope you guys like my afterthoughts, and I will see you for the reading of chapter 9. God bless and peace.